Bell. Ambitious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United.
What's got round the back? And Richie Wood has done it again! It's done! It's Georgie Kelly!
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast. And you guessed it, we've got another defeat to talk about. This time it's in the Virtue Trophy. So a relatively meaningless game, but not a pretty sight, nevertheless. And it gives us stuff to talk about, which is better than it did Sunday. We had nothing to talk about. We've also got a game to preview. We're only going to Stockport on Saturday, so that should be an easy three coming in. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a signing. We'll sign a wonder kid, which can only go one way. And we'll see how it goes. Injuries, people back. Let's go. Mixed back. How is that? How's life?
Yeah, it's all right. I've seen my arse today, mate, so get ready.
Well, to let everybody know, we were arguing before we even started recording 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We set the tone before we'd even got going, which is good. Danny's back. How's it going, Danny?
Yeah, we're good. We're an interesting experience joining like the pre-game lobby, if you like, and everyone's at each other's throats. It's like, I'm only here with a cup of tea. What have I walked into here? But no, other than that, yeah, I'm doing all right.
Excellent. Ben's back for the final time until he comes back. Ben's with us. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Very good. Do you want to tell everybody about you shooting Mickey in the face 5 minutes ago, or should we leave that till...
No, I'll let Mick tell everyone about that. I'll let him milk his experience.
And Tom's back. How are you going, Tom?
Yeah, good. I don't know what I've stumbled into, but we're in for it now.
Here we are. If you can't laugh, you cry when talking about Rotherham United. So that's where we are. Martin Holland's with us, as is the Miller's Sixers evening. Everybody wears that injury curse going to end. Says looking forward to seeing Harry Gray on Saturday, though, if he plays. YouTube says, good evening, one and all. Can we have some more quality players in, please? Alex Bassendale says, hopefully some more signings before the end of the month. Paul Chadwick's with us, as says, good evening, all. Good signing, Harry Gray, but yes, another injury. Terry Fleming says, good evening. Are we all ready for the affray that's coming? Richard is with us. Paula Rhodes says, good evening, all. Hopefully young Harry isn't our only signing in January. Definitely looking forward to going to Stockport, though. Andrew Wiz, as is Chris. Harry says, evening, there'll be no double Wembley bus, and barring a miracle, there won't be one this year at all. You have a little faith, Harry. We're only about 15 wins away from a trip to Wembley, so don't worry about it. We'll get there. Mike says if there wasn't a rift between Matt Hampshire and some of his squad, there will be after his questioning desire and commitment, saying players have had their chance and blown it. Let's go from there. Tom, we'll start with you, mate. 3-0 defeat on Tuesday. A convincing, comfortable 3-0 defeat.
Yeah, I don't remember a chance. I don't remember one single opportunity. 3 awful goals to concede. Obviously, a goal conceded within 30 seconds as well, which was offside. But it's never a good start. I mean, we keep saying it can't get. You can't think it can get worse, and then it does, and you just churn out utter crap that I don't know why anyone's even watching it anymore. It's just it's so pathetic. It's so boring, so negative. There's nothing good you can say about it in the slightest, is there, really? There's not one positive you can actually take other than he changed the formation. That's it. That's not even a positive. That's just an observation.
Yeah, that's true. Ben, you've obviously watched this run of games, obviously finishing with 2 goals and another 3 goals conceded. How does that game compare? Obviously, it was a competition that Matt Hampshire didn't take seriously. He didn't risk anybody. Your Nombe's, your Gores, and Spence and everybody else that might not be available. But it felt like, for me, it felt like all the other games. To be honest with you, do you think it was better or worse? Where did it sit?
Wait, first off, I thought exactly the same. I thought when we changed formation, I thought it was a little bit better. I thought press were there for a little bit. And I mean, we've literally been saying it as long as I've been back. I mean, I don't understand why we're not pressing. We press in second half. I mean, we get a few chances and play a lot better. First half, I mean, Jesus, man. It's bad, and it is so bad. I mean, it's just what it's been for the past 3 years from what I'm seeing. I didn't see, obviously, a lot of the run. So a few games at start. Can't really remember performance, which is obviously really helpful. But yeah, I mean, I don't like 5 at back. I don't like 5 at back, because at 5 at back you need to run. Nobody's running, so it just doesn't work. You know.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, I agree. 5 at the back is 5-3-2 is one of the best formations out there because it's pretty versatile, but it has to be right. You have to have somebody like a Denzel Hall as a right wing back. We'll come on to that later on. Yeah, Mick.
This is so depressing.
It's really bad, isn't it? It's so it's awful.
Bloody hell.
On that first half, Mick, you got to bear in mind Huddersfield made some changes. But if they really, really wanted to, I know the game was done at 2-0, but they could have really killed the game at half time. By half time, there was nothing coming back. There were no punches being thrown from us. There was lots and lots of space. There was players not really tracking their men, which we'll come on to in a minute. Individuals, I'm going to get Ben to name one. But that first half against not a particularly strong Huddersfield team was miles and miles and miles and miles away.
It's arguably one of the worst performances that we've had, that first half. So many players. Too many players. Just a long foot ride, and unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. The effort that were put in, which is zero from some of them. It's disgusting, quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned. These are professional athletes, allegedly.
Well,
maybe they are in body, but they certainly aren't in mind, are they? Disgraceful performance from the players, as far as I'm concerned. And we'll come on to it. I know we will, but 100% the players that were on that pitch, not all of them, but a good proportion of them, were an absolute embarrassment to themselves and to the shirt in that first half. An absolute embarrassment, and they should be hanging their heads in shame, some of these players. No pride, zero pride whatsoever in their own performance, in their own, anything. They just no pride. So I'm not surprised managers cross and angry and shouty and everything else, because I would be. Absolutely disgraceful performance from some of those players in that first half. And we'll go on to the second half, but they were embarrassed even more by 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. Some of whom have hardly played any professional football. So, But anyway, it's manager's fault.
Neil says the fitness levels looked appalling. So he hammered Evans and co for the exact same. Huddersfield were miles fitter in every position. And on the face of it, Danny, I do agree that Huddersfield looks bigger and better and stronger. But I don't think it's fitness. I just don't think it's fitness. I think it's a bit more what Mitch touched on. I think they wanted it more. And this is the Virtue Trophy, for God's sake. This is not the playoff final or a game where it's a crucial 3 points. They didn't play most of their first team. It's not like they were chomping at the bit. To get out-battled by a team in the Virtue Trophy it's absolutely mad. It's just wild.
Yeah, it says a lot when a game in a trophy that literally no one's bothered about at this point. I'm sure there were non-league games that had a higher attendance than was at Huddersfield. Yeah. So it's effectively, I know we throw this phrase around a lot, a nothing game, but in our predicament, it was a chance to go, right, okay, here we go. Let's actually have a go. We've not played for 2 weeks. Let's get some motivation back and get going. And unlike you guys, I didn't see any of the game because I was out and about on Tuesday. But from what you guys are saying in the group chat and what I was seeing on socials and just the general vibe you were getting from the game, it was so poor and so lackluster that we could have had another pre-season off, and that result wouldn't have mattered anyway. And it's just, in the players' heads anyway. It's one of those where you have a nice time off and you go back motivated. Yeah, let's crack on. Let's change your fortunes round. And nothing's happened, And I agree. A lot of the players have let themselves down. There's a handful of players that have put a shift in, but you play football with 11 players. You don't play it with 3 or 4. 3 or 4 players can't carry a result through. And you're right, Matt. I think Huddersfield wanted it more. And that says a lot about a game where, there's a place in the semi-finals, in the quarter. Is it quarter-finals, semi-finals, whatever it is?
Quarters it would have been.
Yeah, quarters. So there was a chance of that, and Huddersfield wanted it more in a game where actually it don't matter what the outcome is. And we were so lethargic, we just weren't arsed, and you can't put that all on a manager. That is down to the individual a lot of the time, just being arsed. A manager can only take you so far to do your job properly, but then it is down to the individual to do said job properly, And I think I'm sure right. I think calling out the players is a good thing.
Everybody lost, Danny.
Better or come off.
Oh, we're back.
Okay, we're back. We got you. We got you at the end.
Yeah.
Ben, you didn't want to name any individuals on the last show, so I'm going to name one for you. Rob Dixon says McWilliams, captain, discuss. Ben, would you like to talk to me about Sean McWilliams? Because last year, when you watched games, Sean McWilliams at times was one of our better players. I remember that run in January. We beat Bolton. I think we beat Charlton. He was key. He was huge to those games. That wasn't the Sean McWilliams that I saw Tuesday, and the game on New Year's Day as well. We should add that in there as well, I think.
That way, yeah. I mean, he's been embarrassing to himself past couple of games because it's nothing. It just comes down to nothing but effort. And I mean, I don't know why Hamshaw's made him captain. I think that is an absolute disgrace to the football club when he's showing effort like that. But I mean, it comes back for the past couple of years. Who was captain last year? Clark Harris. Like, come on. Like, it seems like the captain doesn't mean anything anymore at Rotherham. I mean, Jesus. I mean, we're at their second goal. I mean, what is he doing? He just walks. It's his man, and he just walks. Hey, man, this lad's just scored one, the same shot about 5 minutes prior. It's an absolute. He's playing like an absolute clown, and it's nothing but effort. He's not trying. It's not coming off. He's just. Jesus, man, have some respect for yourself. You know what I mean? I mean, it's so bad. And what's Samson supposed to do when he's got grown men acting like that, acting like 10-year-olds?
Picked him as captain.
I know, and that's a mistake. And I don't know why he's done that because we all saw him on
New Year's Day.
Or New Year's Day. I mean, he's obviously not injured because he's playing. He played 90 minutes and he's playing this. I don't get it. I don't understand it because I'm sure he's called some players out in press conference, in whatever it's called, and rightly so. But then he's made him captain. I don't understand that one.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No, because he's main culprit, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a throw of the dice to see if it motivates McWilliams? A bit of a, show me what you've got sort of thing, and he's just blown it.
I think that's the case. I think it's a bit naive, quite frankly.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the case. But yeah.
Alex James says that the standing captain sealed his own fate. Absolutely disgusting attitude from McWilliams. Giving him the armband was clearly going, show me something, which you guys have just said, and he couldn't. Also, 6'7" goalkeeper diving 4'7". Yeah, that didn't help. Harry says, I think McWilliams is one of those Hampshire might have lost, which is a shame because he's a great player.
Crappy attitude, quite clearly.
Harry says McWilliams just came back off an injury against Peter. He did. And me and Ben mentioned this, I think, after the New Year's Day game. It was the next performance was really important for McWilliams because that Peterborough one, he was way off, and you could say he was injured, Tom. I think that was valid. The next performance had to be to a better standard, and it wasn't. It was to probably a lower standard than the Peterborough game, which again says more about himself, unfortunately.
Yeah, and when you speak about McWilliams as a player, I if he ever gets back to him, which I doubt I would be, that he's not a very good player. He's not a very good footballer. I don't think he's ever been a good footballer whilst he's been at our club. But what he does give you is effectiveness off the ball and running, and he gives you options. He gives you effort, work rate, throws himself about. He's a player that you want off the ball as opposed to on it. And if he doesn't give you that, if he doesn't give you any kind of work rate or any kind of effort like you guys are going on about, and like we saw, I gave him the benefit of the doubt on New Year's about, I thought he was injured. He came straight back into the starting 11. I gave him the benefit of the doubt of, he's injured still and he's just being thrown in there for the sake of it. I think what he does off the ball is good enough in League One that you'd want to keep him around. But if he doesn't want to give the effort, if he's shouting at everyone around him, if he's clearly got some attitude issues, then you don't want him anywhere near your squad, let alone starting 11. So, yeah, sealed his own fate, unfortunately. Stuff like this, you can turn it around with the team. You can go back to basics. You can get your attitude on the right level again, and you can be forgiven by the fans. But so whether or not he wants to do it, but with what we're seeing with a lot of these players, they were bought on 2-year contracts, and that's 6 months, to go. And I think a lot of them know that it's 6 months to go. So you see how they react, but it looks like a lot of them are throwing in the towel a bit early.
Yeah. Sorry for me, I asked about this as well. Every time McWilliams made a mistake, he blamed somebody else. It was constantly shouting at other people. Every time the camera was near him, McWilliams was shouting at somebody else or pointing at somebody else. There were a couple of times Lenny had to tell him to get on with game, essentially, which for a kid is not great. By the way, if Rob comes back, I accidentally kicked Rob out of the comments. I didn't mean to do that, Rob. I apologise when you come back in. Apologies for that one. Alex James says, disagree, McWilliams is awful. He was Northampton's best player based on why Evans signed him like Powell from Burton. Their fans didn't miss him at all. All the signings from last summer can be gone by May. Yeah. Right. Let's move on to kind of the post-match. Mike Miller says, I've seen performances like Tuesday before, and almost always it's indicative of a split between the manager, coach, and players, Mick. Yeah, it does. We've seen Evans lose the dressing room last year. We probably saw Matt Taylor lose the dressing room as well. A couple of times, to be honest, but certainly at the end against Sheffield Wednesday and the Watford when he lost the dressing rooms. This feels and smells very similar to that. You got manager criticising, not individually, but criticising players in public on more than one occasion. Players responding by essentially sticking two fingers up to the manager.
And us.
And us, fine, yeah, and us. But yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you're right. It's not fine, is it? Obviously, but I understand what you're saying. I don't know where we go from here, to be honest with you. I don't really know what the question is to you.
Well, we're in January, aren't we? We're in January, so hopefully he can get rid of some of these. Hopefully.
Well, he can't.
I don't know. If he can't, then he's kind of stuck. But yeah, I think there is a definite split between him and some of the players. And those players are making it patently obvious that they don't care about him, they don't care about the football club, and they don't care about themselves, quite frankly, particularly because they're earning a shed load of money. So who gives a monkeys? Would appear to be the attitude. They know that the contracts are up in the summer, or some of them do. Some of them are anyway. So they're going to be on the way anyway. So that it would appear that the attitude is, well, why should I bother? And maybe you see, maybe some of these players are the type of players. Steve Evans signed him. Steve Evans is a specific kind of manager. He's a shouty kind of manager, as we know. Maybe that's how these players respond. If they're treated like Matt Amshaw treats him, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming he's a Paul Warne kind of guy who's an arm right shoulder, as was Matt Taylor. Come on, let's talk about it. Let's sort it out. That kind of manager. If they don't respond to that sort of stuff and then get called out by it, maybe that they think it's fine. It's fine because I'm not going to get shouted at. I'm not going to get bullied. I'm not going to get whatever. I can just do what I want. So again, that's perhaps a bit of naivety on Matt Amshaw's part. On the flip side of that, you'd thought Richard Wood would have taken one of them in bogs and slapped him around a bit. You know what I mean? He's a kind of. So I don't know. I don't know what the issue is in terms of why these players don't want to play for him. I don't know, but they clearly don't. And by extension, if they don't want to play for him, they don't want to play for us. And we're the supporters. we're the ones that contribute significantly to their wages. So, but again, we'll just blame manager for it. And because that's what's happening. Ultimately, that's what's happening. And not just at Rotherham United, it happens at every football club, you know. So I'm not necessarily criticising our supporters or anybody else. It happens at football clubs, all 92. If the players don't perform, it's the manager's fault. It's not the players' fault, and the players know this. But we as supporters shouldn't be allowing them to get away with it.
What do you get away with it? What can we do?
We should be calling them out as well, you know, because the default position for everybody is it's manager's fault. It's manager's fault. It's manager's fault. You know, that second goal where McWilliams didn't track his man, manager's fault. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Martin's right. Yeah, I did blame the manager all last season. I blame the manager all last season because he'd signed crocks of players, some of whom we've still got. He trained them for about 40 minutes a day. He had no tactics. All those things. None of those apply in this situation. And also, I criticised him all last season. I didn't make it. I think I made it clear. I don't like him.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know whether I made that clear or not, but you know. So, yeah. But the first three reasons for me are significant because none of those things are happening here, and yet we've got a similar situation in terms of some players not doing what they're asked. What's asked for them, the bare minimum of what's asked of them. Put a bit of effort in. Have some professional pride. Loads of us go to work and don't like as managers. We still do the job because the job is important. We don't go to work to be nice to manager or for manager to be nice to us. We do it to do the job. And if you're a professional footballer, you're living the dream of just about every young man in this country as they grow up. You're living that dream. And here you are. Just, I can't be asked because I don't like manager. Absolute nonsense. Childish, grow up. I told you I'd see me backside, didn't I? I ain't started yet.
I know you aren't. Wait till about it. Rob Six says Mick blames Evans plays all season, but now it's his plays. Welcome back, Rob. Apologies for getting rid of you by accident.
Did.
Rob Six again says call whatever you want. The players obviously don't like it. Neil says the players get a sniff of a sacking and they're down tools. Says Taylor Evans and now Hamshaw. Ken Hockey, it's a disgrace. These players get well paid to play a game of football. Shame on them. Can't imagine what Woody thinks. It's happened for decades. Players didn't like the manager. They don't play. I like Leeds and
absolutely.
Clough.
Listen, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it's something that's unique to Matt Hamshaw or to Steve Evans or to any of to Rotherham United. It's across the spectrum. Don't make it right though.
It don't make it right, Danny. But football isn't a normal workplace, so it's probably wrong to compare it to a normal workplace. But none of us play football, so this is the best we've got. But a good manager and a bad manager are very, very different. And if you have a manager you don't like, you aren't going that extra %. And if you've got a manager you really, really don't like, if there's an opportunity to undermine them, there's a chance you're going to undermine that manager. It doesn't mean that's how some people. That's not how everybody works. But you all know somebody here who you've worked with who will take the opportunity to undermine somebody else. And this is a group of 25 people, Danny. And there's probably going to be at least one of those characters in that situation. I think that's where we are.
Yeah, I agree. And I suppose from a management perspective, like obviously in football, it's a lot different. But from a manager's perspective, especially where it's a rota-based business rather than a set working hours business, if you know that player and that person is actively trying to undermine you and effectively you know they don't like working for you, you know you're not going to give them as many shifts because you know you won't get the best out of the team. In an ideal world, maybe that's what we do. We give those players less game time. But we don't have the capability of doing that because we're threadbare as it is, and we've just had another major setback as well. But no, I agree. Moral compass-wise, that shouldn't be the case. But, you know, not everyone's perfect, and they will actively try and undermine some managers that they work for. But I think one of the things that I see is that you actively see a small group of players who are fit and ready to go, really trying their asses off with this. And I think they're the ones that actually do support Matt Hamshaw and that are fit and ready. I think a lot of players that aren't fit and ready are also Hamshaw supporters. It just so happens that the ones that don't support him have down tools because they're off in the summer and they know that. And it's an impossible situation to be in, especially as a first-time manager. But from that, I also want to highlight one of the main differences between Matt Hamshaw and Paul Warne's way of doing things. So I do think they are very similar in their approach to management. However, Paul Warne had Richie Barker to go and really growl at some players and get the best out of them. Now, this isn't a criticism of Dale Tong, but I don't think Hamshaw has got that. I don't think Woody is in that position either to go and have a growl at him because he's not on the pitch, if that makes sense. And I don't think, I don't think Dale Tong is that type of assistant manager either. So it's a rock and a hard place that you've got some players that respond to being shouted at better, but we don't have the person to shout at them. And that's why it's a lot more prevalent that it's quite clear they've down tools, which is a shame. Because if you are playing for a football club, and I'm sure we all agree that it is a very privileged position for us, quote unquote, normal people to look at them as that. And it's like, but you should be playing for our football club. We're biased because we're all Rotherham fans, but we are in the position of like, you are representing our football club and it's not good enough. And that's why we're all pissed off about it. And if anything, I do have a lot of sympathy for the management team because they have to go and deal with that. And we just get to shout about it on a podcast or in the stands. But, you know, no one is immune from criticism in this situation, I don't think. But I think some players haven't been criticised enough and need to grow up a little bit. And that's coming from someone who's 26. They need to grow up, effectively. They're in a place of privilege, earning thousands of pounds a week, and they've spat dummy out. It's not good enough, unfortunately. Not good enough.
I feel like I'm in the minority here, Tom, because although I agree with everything that Tom said, Danny said and Ben said about the players, I'm not arguing with any of that about the players. But Matt Hamshaw's got to do better than this.
Yeah, I've got no sympathy. I was agreeing until you said that you had sympathy for him. I have no sympathy. I think that this is. I got annoyed when I started thinking about like feeling sorry for him because, you know, I watching that interview today and after the game, more today, I felt I did feel sorry for Hamshaw because he looks like a man who was defeated. He doesn't, football aside, mentally, whatever, he looks like defeated. He is defeated. He is gone. He's completely and utterly finished. You can tell by his body language what he's saying. I don't think he's got. I don't see any compare this one to even last week. Not last week. The pre-New Year one.
New Year.
Just all his enthusiasm's gone. All of his fight is gone. Whether or not you can get it back, I'm sure you can after a few wins, but you can't instill that in players if you've not got it in yourself. And I've got no. I feel sorry for him, but I've got no sympathy for him either because, as you say, Danny, you gotta. If you've got a few rotten apples, you can replace them, or you can almost try and figuratively move them out of the, move them out of the pack. And again, with Denzel Hall, he's got another player injured for 3 months. I said in our group chat before, I put £1,000 on it's a hamstring. And I read in Paul Davis's report, it's another hamstring injury. I think you've got to like the fact that we've not even like, and the fact it went down as well as another unfortunate training ground injury. The fact it's gone down as another like just something that's happened again at the club. Again, it's annoying me no end because it's just lack of accountability again. And as we've discussed so many times that, you know, injuries and whatnot, you can't get the best players out. You can't do this, you can't do that. But there's so many issues fundamentally with the club. I don't know why they've not just gone out, spent £5,000 for an external person to come in and see how they've run the session and gone, yeah, that's fine. I don't know what it's up with you. Or gone out and said, you know, just something, just bring in someone external for £5,000, £10,000, because it's back in November when this was actually a serious issue. Because now it's a joke. Now it's a piss take now. You know, Denzel Hall is arguably our best player this season. You've got him injured for 2 months due to a training ground, what can only be presumed as shape. That's what he described it as. They were doing shape practices and your players out for 2-3 months. I I don't fathom it. I feel sorry for Harry Gray because he's going to come in with massive hopes, probably score 2 in his first game and then get injured for 6 months because that's just the way that it works around here. I don't know what the issue is. It's not my problem to find out what the issue is. At the very start, I felt sympathy for Hampshire. I thought it was bad luck. Now I just think it's pure ignorance and pure non-accountability. I don't know what's going on, but there's clearly something going on that, look, maybe it's the training facilities, maybe it's the lack of investment, maybe it's this, that, and the other. But honestly, it's a rod through your own back at this point. You've got arguably you've got a squad that can not only stay up but do well in this league. I think that's opinion based. My opinion is there is something that we can do. We can do a lot with this squad if you can keep them all fit. But I think we're down to 14 players, 15 players now, and we're in a 25-man squad. You've got 10 players injured, and 2 keepers that aren't injured. And I think the only player so far this season that hasn't been injured was Powell. Might not, I don't know if he is injured now or whatever, but it's Dawson and then even Can's been injured with a bloody concussion. So it's not like it's a recurring case of one person. It's not like it's happened once and then it's never happened again. We see that we keep getting recurring injuries. We're not going to stay up. We're not going to have a squad to stay up. This is literally what's going to happen to us. We don't have a squad to stay up. And what you want to do about it, you're going to want to do about it. But in our external view of what's happening, nothing has happened. And I know that we had this argument a few weeks ago, Mick, and you said, do you think they're going into conversations and they're saying, oh, should we keep doing the same thing? And I know for a fact that they are doing that. They are saying, they are having conversations about this and saying what the hell's going wrong, and they are having productive conversations about it. But the fact it's still happening, like I can't possibly fathom what they're going through, what's happening on that training pitch, what's happening in their fitness programs, what's happening in their rehabilitation stuff. Don't get me, I understand some of them are bad luck, probably 4 or 5. I'll give the benefit of the doubt of bad luck, but then that still leaves another 20 injuries or so. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm sure if you did the numbers, there's probably about 25 injuries that we have had this season. You can't possibly fathom how there's been that many, and all of them being the same type and etc. If you'd have given me at the start of the season said by January, can you injure 25 hamstrings? I'd have said no way, and I would have tried to do it, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I don't know what's happening basically, and that's where my sympathy leans up, because I get what we're saying about players, and I get what we're saying about players aren't playing for the manager, and then the manager digs them out in the press, not individually, but says that there's people there he doesn't like. Then they stop playing for him, then he does it again, and it's a cyclical cycle that's never going to end unless one person says, you know what, I'm going to have some bollocks and I'm going to actually, just play football for the sake of playing football because they love playing football. Some of them clearly don't at the minute, but that's beside the point. For me, I think you've got to. There's so many issues, and I think Hampshire is responsible for a lot of them, maybe not all. And I think as much as the players are responsible for not performing, I think he's responsible off the pitch stuff. And then you go on to the board and they're responsible as well. This isn't a one person thing. This isn't the team's fault. This isn't the manager's fault. This isn't the chairman's fault. It's all three collectively pulling in and creating a disaster that is this season. And if we go down, you know what? I'll say it now. If we go down, we deserve it for the way that we've been treated as fans. And it's because it's absolutely pathetic. Not that I obviously want us to, but yeah, I mean, we, as a club, the 3 people in charge, the squad, the team, the manager, the chairman, they deserve it. They deserve to go down. If I was looking externally, I'd want us to go down because it's pathetic and it should be a wake up call.
It's a broken pyramid. That's what it is, Tom.
Oh, it's a cycle that's never going to end.
And I thought about this last night, so I thought I'd check. The scary thing is, if you look at the teams that went down from League One last year, we've seen where they are in League Two. It's
they're
absolutely frightening.
Yeah,
you've got Shrewsbury, Crawley, and a third team. I can't remember offhand now. All in the bottom 6 or 7 of League Two. There is only Cambridge, who I think are one of the best run clubs around, that got probably unlucky last year, that are not. They're down there. Shrewsbury 3rd bottom, Crawley 5th bottom, Bristol Rovers, who just appointed Steve Evans 6th bottom. That is terrifying. I thought, oh my God, that is terrifying. If we go down this year, Jesus, that is scary to think of. Martin Byrne added earlier, as a manager, you need to be able to put a leader great managers pulled the grass together. Ranieri was a great example of this. Yeah, he absolutely was. Right, we'll take a breath. Please do first of all make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done so already. The numbers over this terrible period have been very, very good. Thank you all for being with us and giving us somebody to talk to and kind of an ear to listen to. Thank you very much. Make sure you give it a thumbs up as well. If you want to see Mick argue with Tom and me argue with Ben, keep watching. Although not Ben, because obviously Ben's abandoned us to the other side. But apparently they haven't got internet in Mexico for Ben to join us over there. Strange. Really weird. Really weird. Yeah, we're going to move on to signings. We're going to move on to other things in a minute, Ben. But let's just stick with the post-match to start with. It called out players, basically. It's still calling out players from a previous regime, essentially. And that causes a problem. Because one of the things, I know Mick keeps bringing Steve Evans up, but one of the things we've kind of been preaching, I've certainly preached, is we need to stop talking about last season and move forward. Move forward as a football club. We're all in this together kind of thing. And I'm sure the last 2 or 3 weeks particularly, that's in public, I assume in private this is a similar thing happening. He's constantly referencing players that he doesn't want at this football club. And that builds a divide. You just put yourself in that group. Put yourself in that group. I understand you would play, you'll put more effort into those. But put yourself in that group and you're seeing that you're one of those players that he doesn't want the football club. Or you think you might be one of those players he doesn't want this football club. And again, that's what he said publicly. Imagine what he might have said privately. That can't be right.
Well, it can be right. But in terms of trying to keep these players on board, then no, it's not right. And you should try maybe be trying to play the game a little bit better. But in terms of giving these players some sort of respect, I don't know what they've done to show that they earn it with the effort that they're putting in. God only knows what they're doing on training ground. I have no issue. I don't think what he said was bad. I really don't. I really don't. I think he's potentially, obviously, first-time manager. I think he needs to play the game a little bit more. I think short-term. Because I don't know. Nobody knows what Tony Stewart will do if we go down. He might pull trigger. I think he might be half fighting for his job to say, like, to give him...
Help me.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm not in a good, hopeful place right now.
None of us are. This podcast was a really good idea a few years ago.
Your idea
a few years ago. It was my idea. Alex James says he's speaking too much of a fan rather than a manager maker. I think that's again something I thought about earlier, that something Paul Warren was brilliant at was don't get too high, don't get too low. When we had some amazing wins, remember it's Sunderland 5-1 or whatever it were, Paul Warren's press conference was the same as when we lost the week before, I think against Fleetwood or whenever it was. It was very level-headed, certainly in public. And Matt Amshaw's talked about that, but we aren't seeing that at all from Matt Amshaw. He is often very negative in his post-match interviews. And then when we were on that run, he was obviously rightly happy. But we're not getting this. We're kind of getting this in terms of his post-match and things like. And again, that's the public. That's what we're seeing publicly. And I worry that, again, first-time manager, I think he's maybe learning mistakes the hard way. 'Cause it feels too up and down from the outside, just from me watching his press conferences.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think there's a certain amount of truth in that, but he has got to learn. He's got to learn somewhere. He's got to learn somehow, He is. He is. Matt Amshaw is me, he's you, he's Danny, he's everybody in the comments. He is the same person as all of us in terms of what this football club means to him, But what I would say is he's 100 times more qualified than any of us. He's 100 times more experienced than any of us. And he's probably got 100 times better idea as to how to turn this football club around than any of us. Actual idea, as opposed to, I think we should do this, that, and the other, and something. He will have a plan. He will have a plan. So I think the fact that he behaves or speaks as a fan at times is not necessarily a bad thing, because we know, most of us, most sensible supporters know that this football club runs through his veins like it runs through ours. It means the world to him. So I can't get my head around the fact that you've got that in your manager at your football club. Ask the other 91 Football League clubs if they want their manager to love their football club as much as Matt Hamshaw loves ours. And 91 out of 91 will probably say, yeah, of course I do.
Cool.
So the next point is he qualified? Well, yeah, he quite clearly is. He's not been courted by Premier League clubs as a coach because he's unqualified and inexperienced. You know, we know he's got the qualifications. We know he's got the experience. He's got to gain the ability. And the only way he's going to get the actual ability to do it is to do the job. We've got to give him the opportunity to do the job because all the other factors are in there. All the other bits that you need are there within him. However, he hasn't got the experience of actually managing. He needs to learn. He needs to develop. And the way he's treated by some so-called supporters of ours absolutely, genuinely disgusts me. It disgusts me because they're not. He is a fan of our football club. It means as much to the club means as much to him as it supposedly does to some of these so-called supporters. But you know, he's treated like garbage by some people. I'm not talking necessarily about us or people in the comments here, but I'm talking about just in general on social media. We've got to give him an opportunity. We have to. And don't forget also that you've also arguably got a chairman who's probably throwing him under the bus because he's had to sack his mate. I'm not convinced he's going to get any support of Tony Stewart. I'm genuinely not. Because I think Stewart's ego has been bruised by having to get rid of Evans. So, you know, I don't know. Yeah, like I treated Evans. I mean, Rob's right, and he's right to point it out. You know, he's right to point it out. I never insulted him personally. I insulted the way he performed. I insulted him in his tactics. I insulted the way that he got the team playing in inverted commas, the way he trained. I did that, but I didn't call him out personally. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be a set of circumstances, not in public anyway. You see you all smiling. Yeah. But, you know, look, he's got to be given the opportunity. Get rid of, clear out, like Evans was able to do it. Steve Evans was able to clear out the players from previous seasons, mainly because they were on big wages, Sam. But he was able to do that. And he was able to bring and allowed to bring in virtually a full squad of his own players, as was Matt Taylor ultimately. It took Paul Warne 2 or 3 seasons to be able to do that because, again, he didn't have the respect, I don't think, of the chairman.
Well, we know that.
And I think the same. I think that the chairman feels exactly the same. And I'm wrong. I've got no evidence to back this up, so I'm not saying it's as a fact. But I think the chairman views Matt Hamshaw as exactly the same way as he viewed Paul Warne. He's just a fitness coach or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see. But for me, look, he's frustrated. He's as frustrated as all of us, and it's going to come out. Whether it's right or wrong, it's going to come out.
Yeah. Just to remind everybody, that's at Millimic2. If you have any problems. So it's on the screen. If you can read, it's on the screen. If you reply to us, RUFC Pod, you're not going to get a response from Mick. Feel free to respond. But it's pointless. It is literally pointless if you reply to our handle. So again, at Millimic2.
Pointless if you reply to mine, to be honest.
That's true. Yeah. Look, there's loads of different opinions in the comments, which is good. It's really good. It's what we like to see. And what you'll notice is there's no name calling in those comments. Look at all that.
Nobody called me a name yet.
Nobody's again, not in public.
Yeah,
yeah.
After this, the DMs are going to be awash with various insults, but it's not in public.
Yeah. I think I was going to ask you, Mick, how long do you give Matt Hamshaw? But I don't think there's any point going into that conversation, bearing in mind where we are with Huddersfield at the minute.
No.
In theory, if we get battered at Stockport, in normal circumstances, yeah, you could see probably a trigger being pulled. Could you see Huddersfield pull a trigger at a minute? Could you see him being bothered at a minute to do anything with the football club? So I don't think it's a really point of a conversation to go through, even though it is important. I don't think there's any point bearing in mind where the club is at the minute. So let's move on. Danny, Kiana Tete has left the football club. Disaster overload. Just an absolute disaster.
That's putting it lightly. Jesus. I mean, he sort of came in, did nothing, got injured, did nothing, and went away again. It summed it up. I mean, all right, fair enough. I hope he does have a good career in football because there's obviously something about him that's allowed him to be a professional footballer. But in terms of his time purely at us, you're right, it's a disaster, absolute disaster. And I think a lot of us were just waiting until it was made official that he had gone, because very rarely in games we saw anything of him. I think there was like a couple of spells where he actually did okay. But in terms of playing in that front two and actually holding the ball up and keeping possession and effectively being a striker, I've not seen anything from him at all. And I mean, Cardiff City fans were right. You know, they said he's not going to do anything, and they were right. I think that's their revenge for Raingate when the game got rained off a bit ago. Then there's a Tete going, yeah, he's really good. No, he's not. But no, I mean, it has freed up another loan spot, so that's a positive. I think we brought in Gray on the back of Sharif going, so maybe we're bringing another forward on loan or permanent now that Tete's gone, but we'll have to wait and see with that. But no, I'm happy he's gone in the sense of it just didn't work for him here. I hope he does well elsewhere. You know, I hope he does well elsewhere, bangs in a few goals, and becomes a really good player. But I'm just happy he's gone from here just because it didn't work. You know, it was too much like Jordan Hugill, but 10 years younger than Jordan Hugill, which doesn't feel like it should be a thing. But it didn't work. His performance on Tuesday just, I think, confirmed a lot of stuff.
Have you seen that compilation from RUFC, by the way, that he's put?
Yes, I have.
Really?
It's, oh dear. So, yeah, he's gone. It's freed up a loan space. Didn't work. Sorry about that. Best of luck elsewhere. Just glad it's not here. Let's move on to a player that we actually want to play at our football club based on performances.
Yeah, let's move on. We have made a signing. That is a child. We signed an actual child. This one from Leeds United. To be fair to Tom, a very, very, very highly rated child. It was linked with Manchester City in the summer. I am going to keep calling him a child. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But he was linked with Manchester City in the summer. If you speak to any Leeds fan, even stupid Leeds fans, they like him. If you then speak to the ones who actually watch the under-21s football, they are really, really excited by him. Archie Gray and Eddie Gray both say he's better than Archie Gray, who's currently playing in the Premier League, or has the potential to be better than Archie Gray. It has all the mix in there, Tom, to be an exciting, really exciting loan signing, but it's still full of risk, isn't it?
Yeah, and we were discussing it if it was a good move or a bad move, and nothing against him. I'm sure he's a fantastic player, but as you know, as well aware, we brought in George Hurst when we were in a relegation scrap, and he went on to do good things, but for us did nothing. And that's not saying that that's what Harry Gray is going to do, but you know, we don't create many chances. We don't really feed our strikers a lot. We don't play fluid attacking football, so he might struggle, and that's nothing against him. It's more against the 10 people around him. And we said it was a risk because he's 17. This is his first touch of, you know, senior football. He's not going to carry the team on his back like Nombe has been doing this season. But the way he's brought in is to be, as Danny said it before, is to be a sheriff. He's going to be a player who isn't going to take all the limelight, who hopefully we can keep Nombe fit for the rest of the season and is going to be that second striker alongside him. Not playing every game, not playing every minute, I'm sure, but when he comes on, he makes an impact. He does things that hopefully Sharif did, which was, you know, the running in behind, the, you know, being a bit more of a, I honestly, I've got no idea what type of player he is, other than he's a goal scorer. That's about it. I just hope we haven't brought him in to be the main man, because that'd be so much pressure on on a 17-year-old shoulders, no matter how highly rated he is, or he seems like a confident guy. So no matter how confident he is about his own abilities, he's just got to play second fiddle to Nombe, and I hope that's the case. I hope that we can keep Nombe fit this season. Doesn't seem like he's going to go in Jan, so we're just gonna hope and see. And if he can bag, how many games we got left? 20 odd. If he can bag 8 goals, I think we'd be more than happy as a collective. We just need someone up there who can stretch the pitch, because we haven't done that at all. We need someone up there with legs so that we can press, as Ben keeps wanting us to do. If you get someone up there who can do that alongside Nombe, and I keep saying if, because I think if we play him as anything but alongside Nombe, I don't know if it will work. Thanks for agreeing with me there, Matt. I think, I just think that's the only way that this sort of way succeeds. Balls into the box, pressing high, and if he can do that, it'll be a hit. And and it, not that it has, but if things maybe start to turn around, he's a player that you kind of want to root for. As you say, he's a kid still. He's 17. He only just turned 17 as well. So it's not even like he's a proper kid. So as I know, he's not our player, but as any good story goes, he's highly rated. Same with Dan Gore. You kind of want to get behind them, and as a young player, you want to see him do well. So hopefully for us, it's another player for the squad to kind of get behind, and hopefully it gives them kick up the arse to the players that aren't performing. Because if a 17-year-old can come in, first taste of senior football, and do well, I'm not saying we're yet to see, but if you can come in and do well, then it goes to show you what sort of player you are, I guess, for those that are not doing as well behind him. So I think for me, I like it. It's a good signing. I was happy when it was went through, but we still need 4 or 5 more, and I think the 3 that he's wanting is way below what we need. It's what we're going to get, but I still think we need another 4 or 5 before we look like we'll be a decent team. So we'll see. Hopefully, I think he'll be one player that we can all agree this season we won't really put much stick in for him, because if anything, he's come here on a favour, it seems like. So yeah, let's see.
Hey, if he puts effort in, that's more than some players are giving us. Rob Dixon says he's from Leeds and his surname's Gray. No Leeds fans ever going to be negative about him, whether just be careful if it does tend to be not very good and you want to criticise him on social media. Just be wary, there are Leeds fans literally everywhere. They will find you and they will reply to your post. They will. So just
I
be
need to
warned.
be careful. My pub's full of him. My manager's a Leeds fan. It's like if I start criticising Harry Gray publicly on here, she'll have me. I won't have a job out somewhere if he ends up being terrible.
Yeah. Alex James says the lad could be a wonder kid, but I think this shows literally how much Stuart is willing to engage, paying for a child. And he mentions Adam Morgan. Wasn't he going to be a wonder kid? He came from Liverpool under Steve Evans, was a disaster. I remember at Millmore when we signed the captain of Chelsea's reserve team. He played 1 game, never played again because he was absolutely garbage. So it wouldn't be the first time a highly rated player's come to the club and done nothing. And Phil says, Ben, it's unfair to put so much pressure on a 17-year-old player as if he's the saviour. Yeah, it's a big ask of this kid. He actually might be the next big thing, but this team is getting battered. I sent to one of my Leeds mates that the atmosphere, even if we lose 3-0 on Saturday, what's Harry Gray going to think when fans turn and fans are abusing players and bullying players like they have done? I think it's going to be a big test of his character more than anything else, to be honest.
Mate, he's from Leeds, mate.
Yeah, but they love him. He's a Gray from Leeds, as Rob just said. He's from
Leeds, and his granddad, Eddie Gray, is going to have been at Leeds games. He's probably been giving abuse. He knows it's a football. I don't think they've got as much pressure on him as possible. I think they've got naught to lose, because if he comes in and does crap, oh well, he did crap. Focus is not on him. Focus is on all the other issues that are at the club. I don't think there's any pressure on him.
Okay, fair enough.
We're second bottom. I mean, we're second bottom and we're 17. We're hardly looking at him as the Lord and Saviour that's going to bring us out of this mess, are we?
He's all we've got.
I know he's all we've got, and we're hoping, but I don't think there's any pressure on him. I think he's got naught to lose. I think it's a perfect move for him.
When Nombe's hamstring pops again.
Run about, and all he does, genuinely, all he has to do to get into squad is run. Because all he has to do is jog, mildly jog, to be better than strikers in the top. That's all he has to do. Walk at a fast pace to be quicker than two we've got or had. That's all he has to do to get into squad. I think it's a perfect move for him. I think it's
How the
perfect.
standards have fallen.
I think, to be fair, if he can just look like he's capable of running, that'd be a start, wouldn't it? Because Tete didn't.
No, I didn't know.
He can stay fit, I think, is the baseline.
His hamstrings aren't made of chewing gum. It's good. Right. It's good. Some of the comments, he's been told he's going to stay. If you listen to every interview, he's basically said he's been guaranteed game time.
Is that surprising to anybody?
Well, how is that a surprise?
Well, it's not, is it? But it's not a great look.
What?
I don't like it. I don't. Should we shout a bit more? Should we not shout at each other? Jesus, calm your sense down. Come on.
We've got no strikers. How is it a surprise?
Well, we're expected. If we don't sign another striker now at transfer window, we've had a disaster. You can't go into the rest of the season with those three as your strikers.
No, you can't.
Right. So he shouldn't be guaranteed game time because it should be realistically. Nombe is going to play in every single week, and if we get another striker, Nombe and whoever this other striker, it's experienced striker we have to get in, should be 1 and 2 starting.
Why?
Oh,
no, I couldn't disagree more with that.
Go on, let's move on. All right,
I don't agree.
I can't be bothered. Denzel Hall hamstring, Mick. It's gone again. This is the second hamstring injury. His hamstring against Exeter was at the period, not long the first time, but this is a 3-month period.
Can I just say something on this? Is it obvious? Is it not just obviously the training ground and the S&C guy? Is it not that obvious?
And not according to Paul Douglas.
Well, we don't even have hot water at training ground, do we?
Not according to Paul Douglas.
So I'm going to believe, Paul Douglas, who was employed by a club rather than one of the most respected players in the EFL ever. So,
how dare you? How dare you?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Looking so off, not allergic by the comment.
Everyone's talking to yourself.
I'm dying for a second there. I'll die more quiet next time. Tom mentioned it earlier, Mick. He's probably been our most consistent player this year. It's a disaster. It's also a disaster for the setup. You can't play this squad 3-5-2 without at least Denzel Hall.
Which, and up until Tuesday night, I was 5-3-2, 3-5-2. I'm all over it. Played 4-4-2, different team. Managing with different players as well. But that's by the by. So he may have to drop to 4-4-2. I tell you what, I'll be looking at sacking the person who assesses these injuries.
That's what I said. I said they keep getting two different opinions. Like, how is that?
Exactly. Because we had, it went out for 6 weeks. Oh, no, it's a week. Hamish Douglas.
Douglas, yeah.
So, I'm not so sure. But anyway, it's not a great look, is it? It's not great. It's not great for Denzel Hall. But, it may force him into that change, which, and if Tuesday night told him anything, the performance with that 4 across the back, particularly after Raggett went off, was significantly better.
I think he wants to. I think he just doesn't trust the players to run.
Well, possibly, but he's got the players to do it. Marvin Colletta's coming back. Lenny Bear's back. Reece James should be back. Joe Rafferty, Ben won't agree with me, but I think Joe Rafferty in a back 4 is more than adequate. You've got Dan Gore coming back. Kean Spence potentially back. You're starting to get players back here. Did I say Coletta? Harry's mentioned Coletta. You
could play Martha as a winger and all in that. You could play Martha as an actual winger.
And so all of a sudden, you're starting to look like a side that can easily compete in this division. We'll see. And then you can play Gray up front with Nombe. It's not a problem. So it may force his hand with Denzel Hall being out. It may not. I mean, just cue Sean Raggett starting on Saturday. I mean,
can you imagine?
I think we'd hear Mick's head explode from wherever we are if Sean Raggett started.
It's sadly a test of Matt Hamshaw of how stubborn he actually is. Because if he starts with a 3-5-2 on Saturday with, say, McWilliams at right wing back, there's more questions. There's certainly more questions than answers.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. He's got an embarrassment to riches now at the back. Now that Lenny's back,
at centre half, not at right wing back or left wing back.
Well, I mean, I appreciate Zach Jules is arguably one of the players that might be on his way out, but he didn't play like that. He didn't play like that on Tuesday, and he can easily play at left wing back without any problem. So, look, there are issues. There are clearly issues from a every single point of view that there is.
Yeah, there is. I don't know what we've got. I don't have nothing else to ask you. We've been through everything. Every single one of it's been miserable. There's not been a single positive point to take from tonight. Terrible, just terrible.
Let's wait and see. Come on.
Let's wait and see. To be fair, the good thing is when we haven't been in League Two for a while, so there'll be some ground to tick off. We've not been to Barrow.
We're not going down, mate. We're not going down.
Be a new one. York, we can go York. York, come up. No little ground up in York. Yeah. Little away there.
If you want to look into it further, we've never been in National League, so there's a whole bunch.
Oh, Danny, don't. Danny. I told you to sum it off then. I can't imagine still doing this podcast after 2 more consecutive relegations. I just can't imagine where my headspace would be.
Well, there'll be a lot less of us.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot less arguing.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a test of character, Matt. We've got character, unlike some of the players. We'd actually see it through.
We would, yeah. Reece Littlewood says, "Hi guys, you well?" No, Reece. Where have you been? We're absolutely not. Yeah, prediction. Cut that clap for next time. This time next season. Predictions. This will get positive, won't it? Thomas, this is like a big game for you as a person because you're from Stockport.
Yeah, born and bred. Not going to it though. You couldn't pay me to go to this game. Is it my prediction first then?
Yeah, we'll go for you first.
Stockport doing well? Ish.
Mixed.
I'm gonna go.
Does it matter?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 Stockport.
Fair enough. I spoke to Steve from the Scarf That Bagara Wore podcast, and he said their fans don't really know how they're fourth. Their season's been like that, which tells you how wild and open League One's been. They're not happy with how their team are playing, but they are picking up just about enough results.
They weren't excellent against us. Reverse leg.
Cam Dawson won it.
Huh?
Cam Dawson's half punch.
It was, yeah. You could tell that they weren't the finished article, and it seems like they still aren't. So this league is so wide open, and we keep saying it, right? And this won't happen, so don't anyone say I'm optimistic, right? But if we win the next 4 games, and like I said, this is not going to happen. But if we win the next 4 games, then we are something silly, like 3 points off 6th or something. Which, again, don't get me wrong, it's not going to happen. But all it takes in this league is a run, either one way or the other. And for us, we've gone down. All it takes is to go the other way, like with Peterborough have done, or Plymouth are starting to do. It only takes a few games, and then you're back up there. So it just proves that this league is crap as each other. So if you play second place or if you play 16th, I don't think it matters really. It's just about how you're doing as a club, and at the minute we're doing crap. So that's why I said we'll lose 3-1, not because it's Stockport, but because it's us. If that makes anyone more positive.
Yeah. After Stockport, we've got a reasonable run of fixtures. We'll probably cover this next week, but we got Stockport, but then Wimbledon at home, Northampton at home, Exeter away. They're not season-defining moments, but after those 3 games will be 4 games, including Saturday. We could be miles clear of safety. We could be cut adrift at safety. So this next 4 games is really, really important for the season. I am going to go next, and we can't keep losing. We just can't keep losing every single week. It's just impossible. So I'm going to go for 0-0, which I think we'd all be happy with that, wouldn't we? Danny, what do you reckon?
Well, I agree with you. When we've put our predictions in, I do have a question to ask based on that. But based on how we are right now, and based on the little conversation we had earlier in the group chat, saying we just have to change. I've actually had a crack at being a football manager. I'll be terrible, don't get me wrong. But you look at the players we've got for 3-5-2, and it's like, unless we're playing Harry Gray as a right wing back,
can you imagine?
Well, you never know. But if that is the thinking, then yeah, it's going to be 3-5-2. But with the players we've got, plus players coming back from long injuries, your only real option for a right wing back is Coletta, and I don't think we're going to play him there from the start, certainly. But we do have the capability of playing 4-4-2. So I think if we play 4-4-2, we might actually see a surprise, and I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1. Can you imagine? Yeah, we'll see on that one. This is the point in Football Manager where you get really bored and you chuck Jordan Hugo at left wing back just to see if something happens.
Play Cam Dawson up front, sod it, why not?
Yeah, what's worse that could happen? Ben, so to let everybody know, Ben has obviously seen us lose every single game since he's been in the country. I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, good, Ben's going away, so we've got a chance of winning against Stockport. Ben will still be in the country while we play Stockport. So any sort of positivity surrounding Ben, take it away. He's still here. So, Ben, I assume you're predicting a loss. By how many?
So, I think if you play 5-3-2, I think we're going to lose 2-0. So I'm going to go 2-0 to them.
Okay.
I do think if we play 4-4-2, we Gray up top, I do think it'll be a bit better. I don't know if we'll win. I'm going to go 1-1, similar to Danny. But 2-0 is my prediction.
Cool.
Because I don't know if he'll change it.
Cool. Mix up next, the certified Matt Hanshaw fanboy. What's your prediction?
I'm going to annoy the life out of Mike here, because he said there can be no other result other than a defeat on Saturday to suggest otherwise throws the entire idea of making predictions into disrepute. Yes, it does, Mike. 2-1 Rotherham.
Jeez.
You think we're going to score 2 goals?
Yep,
Idiot.
I do.
We scored 2 goals since I've been back.
And one of them were a penalty.
One of them were a penalty and one were a toe poke.
The thing is, you won't be watching it. You won't have any input. You won't be able to watch this game. It'll be the first one you've not been able to watch since you came back. So that's what I'm basing it on.
This is going to sprout some weird superstition if we somehow draw with Stockport because Ben hasn't watched it.
And
that's
then
going to be a weird superstition.
When he's on the other side at World next week, 5-6-0 against Wimbledon, not a problem, mate.
I'd love it. I know it's not good for you, Ben, but I would love it if that happened. It would just be beautiful.
Well, it is gonna happen, isn't it? It just is. We're gonna win when I'm not here. It's just gonna happen.
It's a shame.
I hope so. You've gone for another. How long are you gone for? I hope that we win whilst you're not here.
Like a year.
Yeah.
He's gone for the rest of the season.
I've gone for indefinitely if we start winning again.
Robin's going to personally fund Ben's Mexican visa so that we keep winning football games.
Tony Stewart's not forking out for that, mate. Go on. Grow up. Scott Kent says 4-1 to Stockport. Harry says 3-1. Great consolation. Chris Page 4-0. Rob. That round's 3-0. YouTube user with me 2-1 to us. Positive.
Yes.
Steve Grundy. Last positive 1-1. Paul Rigby 3-4-0. Jason Wick 2-2. So it can add that we might be. It could be 8 points adrift from safety from Saturday. Ken Hockey says 2-1 to the Millers.
Yes, come on, Ken.
As well. So yeah, there we are for your predictions. Ref watch is Edward Duckworth. Is that a character from Coronation Street, or is that a different Duckworth?
It's probably his brother, in it.
There was a Duckworth, there weren't there?
Jack. And somebody else, I think.
Yeah.
Who knew Mick were a serial watcher of Coronation?
No.
Full of tricks.
It's a bit of a leap, that, isn't it? It's a bit of a leap from knowing most famous character out of Coronation Street to being a serial watcher of it. But anyway, there you go.
To be fair, Jack and Jack and Vera were like two of the most famous characters in English television for the period, weren't they?
Yeah. So, but no, that makes me a serial watcher of it, if you like.
He's also been married for a while, so I assume his wife.
This is what's wrong with you for today. Jumping to conclusions.
That's what's wrong with youth of today. They don't watch Corrie. Okay.
He last refereed us against Salford in the Cup, not the 7-2, the League Cup. 3-2 win on penalties. Finally, we've gone for around 10 minutes, but I really want to talk about this. The EFL have changed the format, sort of changed when the League Cup starts next season. So the League Cup is the week before the season starts. So the League Cup is on a Saturday, until Sky move it, it's on a Friday. To provide the point of the weekend. But anyway, that's a good thing, isn't it? That's a really good thing.
Yeah, because you've got a competitive game before the season starts, haven't you? So it's like a competitive pre-season friendly.
Yeah. But also from a fan perspective as well. Salford game is a really good example. If the Salford game in the League Cup this year was on a Saturday, how many more fans would have gone to that game? Because we haven't played them on a Saturday in a competitive game before. So I think
also you've got your new players coming in from summer transfer window. So I think it's a good idea that. Wow.
I know.
A good idea.
Yeah.
There's a catch. There'll be a catch. There'll be some money in it somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I want to go full Scottish League Cup and have like a group stage pre-season tournament. I know they won't do that, but I'm on board for that big time. Rob Dixon out of the cup before the season starts.
Come on, Rob, cheer up.
Mike the Mill, absolute pedigree show, lads. The worst of us on the field brings out the best of you. Thank you very much, Mike. I hate these shows. I absolutely hate doing it when I lose. It's so tough. Thank you all for being with us. I can see the numbers again tonight have shot up more than I anticipated. A few things to remember. First of all, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Like this video. If you're watching live, particularly watching live, give this video a thumbs up. The watch time, which not necessarily how many people view it, but how many people stay and watch it, have been fantastic over the last few weeks. Not just how many people have been involved, but how many people stayed and watched it for a significant period of time. So thank you all very much. Also, it's at Millimic2. Not our yesterday, but at Millimic2. Write it down. You'll need it. Danny put his hand up.
Yes. Can I just ask a quick question? I know we've gone long, but I swear it's the last question before we wrap up. Do you think, the question for the comments as well for engagement, do you think we would be in this predicament had we gotten a draw at Bolton?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Papering over the cracks.
Yeah.
I think. Although Tom Holmes will still be here.
So every cloud and all that, mate.
Maybe.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah, true.
Had we not lost 3-0 to Blackpool in mid-December and the run not ended, I think that might have been different. But that was a 3-0 win and things. But I think that would have been a lucky point had we got it. Very lucky. But anyway, moving on. There will be an instant reaction on Saturday because me and Tom are up for Saturday. So me and Tom will have to watch the game one way or another.
Oh no, I forgot I agreed to watch it.
So that will be out. You won't get any. We'll be back Sunday for the live show for the hour long. It's an hour and 15 minutes tonight, so probably something like that on Sunday as well. Like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, iTunes or Spotify. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever your particular thing allows you to do. And we're done. Thank you. Yay. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody who's been in the comments. Thank you, everybody who's watching this afterwards or listening on your walk, your run, or sending you to sleep, as some people like to do. We appreciate every single one of you. And even if you haven't tweeted at Millimic2 yet, we like you as well. We'll see everybody next time. Thank you for watching. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
The Millers.
Here comes for more. 2 for Jensen, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots!
Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United!
Wood's got round the back, and Richie Wood has done it again! It's done! It's Georgie Kelly!
Do me a favor, drop me off